Hello, we are live. What's going on, folks? I will tell you what's going on. Early this morning at about 10 a.m., it was reported and later announced in a press presser by Trump that the U.S. has knocked out some big plants, big facilities in Venezuela. So he said, here's just a quick quote. I'm gonna get into this more, of course. We just knocked out, I don't know if you read or you saw, they have a big plant or big facility where they send where the ships come from. 2 nights ago, we knocked that out. So we hit them very hard. Trump, of course, didn't give any further details because they never provide any evidence of their offensive moves or operations. So, yeah, just big plant, big facilities. He couldn't say the word drugs, so it's kind of strange, isn't it? I mean, why would he be if that's what this was about? Anyways, it doesn't say. And so the president of No More Wars just continues to create wars. Um, his buddy Bibi, who is still laying waste to the people in Gaza, they did a shared presser today and are planning, I'm sure already from the sounds of it, that another attack on Iran. Meanwhile, Netanyahu refuses to implement the second phase of the Gaza peace plan, which is no surprise. I mean, the killing has never stopped there when this so-called first phase was implemented. It's they continue to starve the people in Gaza, terrorize them, and just flat out shoot them. And much of this is, or big, huge presence there by American militia groups. Is that the right word? Oh, security, private security, whatever. So it's not ending. Crazy week, I know, probably for many of you. I was gone most of all of last week, most of last week, and didn't get back until I don't know, 5, 6 o'clock last night. So I'm still a little out of it. Haven't streamed in a good week. But also on Christmas night, Trump launched an attack against Nigeria, or in Nigeria against ISIS, supposedly. To be fair, I have not been able to catch up on any of that. B, what's up, Sister Mary? Cheers to you. Yeah, just, B, just watching Trump burn the world. So these, anybody that's been hanging around here a little while knows that the land strikes on Venezuela are no surprise to me at all. The only thing that is a surprise is that it took this long. I called for it 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, so I was late. I have to assume, I don't, what was my poll question? Will more Will there be more attacks? Yeah. I have to assume that there will be more, at least, I guess. I don't know how many more. My best guess is there will be some more strikes in Venezuela. When? I don't know. I would assume probably soon. Could very well also wait to see what Venezuela's response is going to be. Though if Trump, I don't know, I can't believe he'd be ignorant enough to think that they would like somehow launch strikes against the U.S. or against any of our warships out there or anything like that. But I don't know. I mean, I hope for the people of Venezuela, I hope that Maduro, as lousy of a person as he is, isn't ready to sacrifice his whole country. But, the big orange guy, we're not the world's police, though. You have to keep that in mind. B says he's just as big a disappointment as we knew he would be. At least, right? At least as big a disappointment. Mary, I've been struggling to catch up because the vacation, like I just did, absolutely no news. The only way I heard about the attack in Nigeria was from Mac, like Christmas night or something. Or the strike. I don't know how I should say that. Like I said, I have not looked into it, so I really can't give my own personal opinion at all on what went down there. Bill, what's up, brother? Yeah, Bill says that Donald said it happened 2 days ago, so no Venezuela. So Venezuela said nothing. Yeah. He is a fascist fuck shit dip twit. Right, Bill. There seems to be absolutely no evidence provided at all to. Um, I'm kind of learning along with you guys tonight. I just checked out a couple of the big networks stories on this before coming on. But yeah, there's just, I mean, it is adding up to be very odd because of the way Trump is quoted. I have to read that again. Trump says, "We just knocked out. I don't know if you read or saw. You have a big plant." Let me start again. "We just knocked out. I don't know if you read or you saw. They have a big plant or big facility where they send where the ships come from. 2 nights ago, we knocked that out, so we hit them very hard." So he also said later on in the interview that, but I could not get the question. Oh, okay. So apparently Trump was asked whether or not the U.S. had conducted, if the U.S. military had conducted the attack. And Trump said it doesn't matter, but there was a major explosion in the dock area where they load the boats up with the drugs. Okay, so he did say drugs there. You have to forgive me. I hope you can, because like I said, I'm not trying to make any claims about what happened. I'm learning along with you guys. Or most of you probably already. Catch up, TV, catch up. Yes. Bill says he's going to strike Iran again. Absolutely, they are. There's just no doubt about that. And I'm going to get into that hopefully too. Yet, I mean, it's so. Bill, how do we deal with that shit? It's apparently, clearly, if we can't do anything, the president has and it's not just Trump. There's probably every president has um, done strikes like this that a different circumstance, whatever, have just chosen on their own to do these strikes, right? Usually, hopefully, it's against, you know, large terrorist targets, individuals, for instance, you know. But to have, not that our Congress has any balls right now, but to seemingly not have much of an avenue for stopping Trump from just going balls out on whatever country he wants for whatever reason, oil, whatever, because he wants to be friends with Bibi. Yeah, exactly. Bill says we really don't know the truth. Experts themselves aren't sure they believe Donald. Well, he's a lying bastard at a minimum. Jim, what's up, brother? Jim says he took out a fishing pier. What a brave and courageous pilgrim. Yeah, that's what I figured this was. What I was searching hard to see if there was any indications from Venezuela that it was a military, or anyone else that it was a military site, because I feel that's going to happen yet. I do. Like, I suppose I shouldn't get into that too much yet. I mean, I would think Trump isn't very bright, so I don't know why I get into a confrontation with myself about some of that shit. But it's hard to imagine that, and it's probably not just Trump. Maybe folks in the government still think somehow you can fight drugs by killing people. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. It's so far he's claiming that he doesn't need congressional approval for these types of strikes, even though I don't know if what the difference, what the differences are, what the lines are between needing congressional approval and not needing it. Well, I can't disagree with that at all, Jim. I mean, it's hard for me. Jim says Congress has abandoned its responsibilities relative to foreign wars, not just this Congress, pretty much since the Korean War. And I don't disagree with that at all. Um, it's been tough as fuck for me, Jim. I mean, for any of us, I guess it would be not just me. To we love our country, we love each other. We try to. It has to be a choice. I've always said that love isn't a feeling; it's a choice. And I think is for fuck's sake, if you're against the shit, which most of us are, you have to take responsibility. You catch a lot of hell, you know, making statements like, America used the military to fucking terrorize many countries and murder innocent people. Well, it's fucking true. And it sucks. I don't know. I mean, I hope we're dealing with adults here and you can fucking get on with your life and accept that. That's exactly what we've done. Let's stop, you know. So I agree with you, Jim. It's we have not Congress hasn't done worth a shit in that, Matt. Yeah. It's fucked up, man. Why do you think it's hard to sleep at night, you guys? Seriously. I mean, I don't know about you. I'm no saint. I just don't get it how we have to go on with our everyday lives, and most of us do because we have to. But then when you're done fucking taking care of the shit you have to survive, what could be more important than what the fuck's going on in the world and what the fuck the US is doing? It's us as a whole. I know we can't we can't, there's nothing we can do at the moment to take responsibility for Trump, but James, what's up, brother? Cheers to you. Yeah, thanks, man. James says, as he mentioned the weather. Have I, James? Because it feels like -4 here earlier this afternoon. James is probably like fucking 104. Or he's wishing it was 104. It's probably 114. He is. B says he's killing the spirit of America. It's how do you hold your head? How do good people hold their head up? How do how do we defend or stand up for our whatever honor we might think we have, or when we don't anymore? Yeah, Patriot Act and 9/11 law needs repealed. I agree, Mary. Mary says love is a verb. People all over the world want simple things. Powerful men fuck up billions of lives. I might have to do that. I don't know if it'd be a poll question. I guess I'd have to figure out. Well, I guess I could ask myself the question to give us the multiple choice, but I don't know how that would work because you can't vote more than one answer on anything. But somebody posed this question that if you asked the world's population what are the 3 most important things to them, 98% of the world, everyone is going to share, they'll share 3 of the top 5 answers. And so that's which you guys know the answers, right? It's health and well-being for friends and family, and not going hungry, having a place to sleep, a warm place when it's cold. No more wars, death and destruction. Nobody wants to see that. End world hunger. So how does humanity what are we fucking missing? It's the tribalism, which is a fucking it's a psychological defect in humans. I because or we haven't evolved through it yet. Maybe it was necessary at one time, or obviously was necessary at one time, or maybe, I mean, maybe we can't ever say, could never really say that tribalism was ever did anything to advance human society. All right, I think this is pretty short. Let me read this through, you guys, and I'll give you that way. I can catch up as much as possible. This is on the recent attacks that Bill just enlightened me on. What supposedly happened 2 days ago, but I think we just all learned about it this morning. But the first reported U.S. land strike on Venezuela dock areas on December 29th, 2025, U.S. President Donald Trump publicly stated that the United States had struck a dock facility in Venezuela used to allegedly load drug smuggling boats, marking that he described as a major explosion at the site. Trump said the strike targeted an area where boats loaded up drugs and also referenced earlier attacks on the boats themselves. He called the site an implementation area for narcotics operations and said it was no longer around. Though there is limited official details or independent verification, the White House, Pentagon, CIA have not publicly confirmed details such as the exact location, forces involved, or independent verification that the strike took place inside the Venezuela territory. Venezuela authorities have not issued a specific response to these claims as of the latest reports. What led up to this? Supposedly, prior to the dock strikes, the U.S. had been conducting a campaign of strikes at sea against speedboats and vessels it accused of narcotics trafficking linked to Venezuela criminal networks. Trump had earlier warned that the operations could expand to include land strikes inside Venezuela as part of pressure on the President Nicolas Maduro's government. Also, we will recall that God, I can't. Well, maybe you guys will recall. Apparently, I can't recall, but I do. Trump's statement just a week and a half ago or so. But I do remember Stephen Miller saying that American companies built those oil wells, and we deserve to have them back. They are ours. But Trump had made around the same day or so had made similar comments about, kind of not really saying that this is about drugs, but the oil, which is no surprise to any of us. But this action against Venezuela represents a significant escalation, shifting from maritime interdictions to a strike on or near Venezuelan soil, which we were just talking about congressional approval. I'm not sure if that. I was going to say that maybe whether or not the attacks happen on, sovereign soil somehow makes a difference for needing congressional approval, but I don't think it'd be very hard to come up with all kinds of examples where we've hit land targets and not had congressional approval. Like I said, with probably every president in my lifetime. The campaign, including sea and now land strikes, is part of a broader U.S. effort that also features military buildup in the Caribbean, and oil tankers seizures tied to sanctions on Venezuela. International law and legal authority. Some lawmakers and legal experts have previously questioned whether the U.S. has legal justification to conduct strikes inside Venezuela territory without clear congressional authorization. Most of us would say no. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. I understand that the law may be somehow vague or not exactly clear, but I believe that it's clear enough. And we're America, wouldn't we side on the or err on the side of humanity, caution, diplomacy? Does anybody remember that word? I mean, for fuck's sake, I don't know if this is also part of some sort of plan with the ousted. Um, I am really tired, you guys. Anyways, the lady that God, why I can't remember her. You guys know what I'm talking about. Ran against Maduro. It was a close election supposedly, but probably rigged anyhow. And the opposition party. There we go. Woo! Opposition. That's a big word. That's a hard word for me today. So, you know, I think before Christmas there had been reports of Trump making trying to make some sort of deals with her, and you'll have to forgive me for forgetting her name. Uh and obviously the country is split, but I don't see how this does nothing. I don't want to believe that she would want anything to do, no matter what, with any sort of civil war going off, right? There's probably going to be clashes. The country's a mess right now and probably getting worse. And Trump isn't helping, these, clearly just make it deep. Nobody, it's really fucking stupid and hard, like, to have to sit here and, you know, push back against these unprovoked strikes without having to fucking, say, yeah, nobody defends Maduro and his fucking, you know, terrorist drug operations. Nobody's doing that. But do we have limits or don't we, as far as, allowing countries to work things out for themselves? They're not. Nobody's asked. The opposition leader maybe has obviously reached out to Trump or vice versa for help or whatever, some sort of assistance. Fine. How's that going to work? What are they going to do? She's in. I don't know if she's. Apparently, she isn't in the country anymore. Maybe Putin told me that. I thought she was in hiding in the country, but has been exiled now or is just hiding outside of the country. So the responses as of since this has been going on in about September, Maduro's government has condemned earlier maritime strikes as aggression, mobilizing defenses, and accusing the U.S. of using anti-drug efforts to justify pressure on his regime. The United States has publicly acknowledged that it will acknowledge what it says is its first strike on Venezuela dock used for alleged drug trafficking, a significant escalation beyond previous maritime actions, but crucial details remain unconfirmed by independent sources or Venezuelan officials. So I don't know, Bill had brought that up a few minutes ago that not even a response or any sort of acknowledgement of the attack or strikes from Maduro's government doesn't necessarily mean anything, but so far up till now at least, Maduro's been very public about, or at least trying to use the court of public opinion, world court of public opinion against, for to his advantage through this. So Mikado, thank you, Bill. Yeah, Mikado. Yes, the Nobel. I had remembered she won the Nobel Peace Prize, and that I thought that was kind of another reason I thought it was weird. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's just all really fucking fucked up because look at I have to search, see when the attack on Iran was. Okay, in June. Yes. All right. So it was, yeah, 7 months ago. 6 months ago, June 22nd. It looks like. All right, close that window. June 22nd of this year is when we launched those attacks or strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities. So it's been 6 months. I mean, hate to be a know it all, you guys, because I'm not, but I'm sure maybe many of you thought the same too. None of this shit ends. It does not, no matter what fucking people like Trump or Putin or Netanyahu do, that's never the end of it, ever. Until they're planting flags, American flags or Israeli flags somewhere, right? I'm serious. It's like, I don't know. Maybe if there wasn't the Epstein files and that people weren't starving in America and that Trump hasn't kept any of his fucking campaign promises, other than, I guess, if you know, gas being lower, it is finally here, finally. But that's it. Like, who gives a fuck, man? You can't afford to go down to you can't afford to get anything at the grocery store, so whoopee shit. Why drive down there? James says, let me catch up with you guys. Yeah, Jim says that Maduro is a tyrannical crime lord and Venezuela people deserve better. Absolutely. And it's not that we wouldn't help. Like, I wasn't necessarily, am not opposed to if Trump was able to, you know, do any part to get, that's not going to happen. It's not him working with the Mikado is nothing but us sticking our nose in. I mean, she's not the leader. Rather, even if she, you know, in a legitimate election, she won or she would have won, because I don't believe. I also don't believe that it was a legitimate election. No way. So she could have very well have won, and deserved to be the leader right now or the president. But I don't know how, like, being a part of we really, it can't be up to the president of the United States and this, exiled, possible, opposition leader. It has to, you guys know what I mean? It has to be from the people of Venezuela. And it sucks because Maduro has a strong arm and oppresses the fuck out of his people. And I'm sure it's very hard to fight back against something like that. I mean, we're almost there, are we not? Are we not almost there? Are we not almost facing a situation in not on the exact same levels with the, horrific, social structure and poverty as in Venezuela, but we are facing that sort of problem, right? With our leader. James says, I work with quite a few Americans TV, and that is it, a U.S. owned company. I can tell you all, not some, all are embarrassed and disgusted with what they see back home. I, in fact, they do not even like talking about it. No kidding. Yeah, I understand, James. You know, me and you, brother, we understand each other well when it comes to that shit. It's like you and I have been very, and along with plenty of other folks, have been very critical of when we're when we're criticizing our government, we're we're standing up and saying we're fucking up, all of us, right? And though we're not voting for this kind of crap or supporting this kind of crap, we have to maintain that sense of responsibility of fixing it, right? And I know you guys all do. It's a hard watch. The fabric of the nation has gone to shit. Yep. Just like B said earlier, he's killing the American spirit. And that, to maybe hang on that a second, like I think that's part of the problem too, be like we see the Trumpers don't have what we consider American spirit. Like until all this shit has been going down, I never really felt like I had to think about it much, like what it really means to be an American. You know what I mean? Like it means being the fucking best person you can be and doing the most you can possibly do for the folks around you. And that doesn't just mean in your country or, your county, your state, your country. We can't fix everything, but we could do a lot. We could be a lot more helpful if we weren't fucking shit up, right? And it's like there's no sense of that, B. They don't, no humility. And I don't want to get fucking stupid with like all the fucking cliche words like empathy, but is I mean, and I'm not into all the super, overhyped patriotic shit either, like the beacon on the hill. But we are. I mean, it's to me it's a cheesy little saying, whatever, but it's absolutely true, 100% what I always think about. It's like just hope. I mean, we are no sort of hope for anybody anymore, including ourselves, it seems like. And that's what I think that and how can you be any sort of hope when you have how can a country be any sort of hope or light or, possibility to anyone when we have a leader doing that, just the president of no more wars, you guys, ready to attack Iran again for the second time in 6 months. And I guess I better get my notes going for that because I'm sure Trump said some absolutely wonderful things about Iran immediately after that. Like once they, I think, did have some sort of limited or basic communication. I'm pretty sure he said some very kind of complimentary things about Iran right afterwards, right? I mean, it's always bullshit. I'm just pointing that out because now 6 months and he's going to be, they're going to be lighting him up again. And him and Bibi are, excuse me, he will do more strikes on Venezuela, I assume, or like a few of you folks suggested, possibly provoking them, see what happens, see if what Venezuela does. I don't see Venezuela respond striking back against any sort of U.S. installations, boats, or even coming close. I mean, could be wrong, but that would that would be a terrible thing for the people of Venezuela for sure. But yeah, who know? I mean, so I don't know what kind of response Trump could hope for other than Maduro bending, possibly. But Roy, what's up, brother? Cheers to you. Royism in the house. Yeah, right on. B says when Chris asked me to move to Canada, he was giving me the gift of that hope and calmness could be like. Canada has it. Is it perfect? No, but it's better than this shit. Yes. Yeah, I agree because it's got to be one thing to be a country like Venezuela and having a shit leader and really not being able to do shit against countries like America or the US or probably many other countries, but imagine, you know, it sucks being to me it's the worst right now being the supposed world leaders and look what we're fucking doing. Jesus Christ, you guys. It's so fucking bonkers. Bill says Donald was prepping us for another Iran strike in his meeting with Bibi. Yeah, for sure. I think I think there's no doubt that that's going to happen. Oh, and God, I didn't mention in the description though. Shit's probably likely to go off because of all this with China and Taiwan. What are you guys' thoughts on that? I mean, is Xi really pulling a Putin like, but not gonna actually send, you know, tear shit up? Is he gonna like just putting all that force out there for nothing, just for drills? I mean, why? Everybody knows what they're capable of. I mean, that's just my reasoning on that. That Chi, nobody's confused about what China is capable of, so it doesn't make sense to me that they would do these huge drills just as for what? To say, hey, we could anytime we could fuck you up. I mean, and I do believe, and if that does happen, for sure, it's because Xi sees that Trump has his fucking hands full with the fucking hole he's in and busy digging it deeper. James says, I see Putin is making up lies about Ukraine bombing his residents. Yeah. $10,000 says Trump will sympathize with Putin. Yeah, he almost already, the motherfucker is a ping pong ball, James. I guess he had that meeting with Zelensky, which, you know, Zelensky's probably treats it like fuck, I don't know, just chewing the fat with the fucking newspaper stand guy for 5 fucking minutes. Whenever he meets with Trump, it's like just whatever, dude. Noted. Get back to me when you make if you make something happen. Otherwise, it's all bullshit. That's how Zelensky's got to think about Trump. So the minute after their meeting, Trump is fucking running his mouth about having already had a good phone conversation with Putin about it. It's like, are you fucking? But what does Zelensky do? Like, if it was me, thankfully it's not. Be like, you're a fucking dildo, man. Go fucking suck Putin's dick. I'm really not sure. Like at this point, maybe Putin or Trump would be completely fine with, would be great even with the war ending in whatever fashion, right? Rather, just like it does not fucking matter to him what Putin and the people of Ukraine want. It doesn't matter to Trump. He just wants to see it end, right? Like he doesn't care, obviously, if Ukraine gets completely fucking screwed, and he doesn't give a fuck if his buddy Putin gets to keep an inch of land either. I think he would be more, you know, stroking himself off about his so-called ending another war. Yep, regardless of what you even think of Iran strikes, remember we were told the last strike was so successful that it set back Iran years, if not decades. Well, Bill, I don't know. Obviously, I stopped following along after, a couple of days. So I don't, but there was questions of how much damage was actually done, right? And I'm not sure that we were ever able to get any real from any of our allies, any legit news sources that we could check that there was. So yeah, I don't know, but yeah, that's a good point. That regardless if it was successful or not, Trump said it was, and it set him back decades. Timeline just got sped up. 6 months. Mary says countries that have interests. Donnie Dumbo thinks it's about friendship. Oh my God. Mary, that just made me think of the fucking Marjorie Taylor Greene interview too, you guys. Holy shit. Trump bitching her, chewing her ass out because his fucking buddies are gonna get hurt if the truth of the Epstein files comes out. Man, where the hell are the Q nuts and these fucking gropers or whatever they are? That's not enough. I mean, okay, Trump didn't do anything. Let's just set that aside for a second. You find as long as Trump didn't do anything, you're okay with him protecting people that did. Nah, you're good, Mary. I appreciate seeing you guys. I do. I yapped for a few minutes each night when I was on vacation, but I had our my cheesy little holiday stream up the whole time I was gone. I was happy that it stayed up too. Stayed live for 5 days or so. Jim says there's a professor at Wharton who agrees. 47-year teaching career, said Trump was without a doubt the dumbest. Do I got my ads on again? Probably. Yeah, I never remember. Maybe I need a sticky note on my monitor. I mean, it's not such a big deal when I'm doing shit like this, but they get me in trouble if I'm doing anything else or using any other content. Bill said the Brits assessed about 7 months back to Iran nuke program. Essentially, the bombing did squat, but Israel's assassination of scientists did. Yeah, right on. Yeah, That's obviously a thing of war, right? A weapon of war is to go after those folks that are in charge of actually creating the stuff or knowledgeable about it. Yeah, I think that's what'll possibly happen. I don't know if there's. It would really fucking suck, right? But if there's any sort of, I mean, anyways, Mary says that hopefully these women, some of the survivors, will start naming names when they get fed up with being lied to. It's just really hard. I mean, we can all only imagine what they think of Trump and the administration, right? Pam Bondi, Patel, right? At at this point, I mean, you don't. Yeah, campaigned on it, year gone by, basically forced for what, still wondering why Trump even signed the law to have the files released. I mean, the cover up's been so bad, right? Wait until the last minute to release them, and then still, I don't know what's been. Again, I've been out of it commissioned for the last week, so I don't know what percentage of the files has been released now. Though huge amounts of them are redacted and blah, blah, blah. Yep, all that time just fucking having to drag it out of them. It's man, what is going on, you guys? Seriously, I start thinking like the fucking Trumpers when it's like this. It's like, how is this shit happening? It takes so many people to create these, to fucking manage these cover-ups. How is this happening? Not a conspiracy, just, I mean, I'm not saying it is. I'm that many fucking greedy, filthy, soulless people. Yes, Mary says we lost the greatest nuclear fusion researcher in the world at MIT a couple weeks ago. Orlando Hernandez is having an upgrade. He intends to bring 11,780 ships of cochineal into the U.S. He is not worried he will get a pardon from someone that doesn't know him. Jim says it was less than 10% released before they found another million documents. Sheesh. I forget what I forget what the total number of documents was or previously. It's like 1.3 terabytes of data or some shit. And I know that doesn't mean a whole lot because pictures, whatever. But yeah, we know the files are in the fucking A, man. I have a hard time. I struggle with this, you guys. I'm telling you. Struggling bad with how these things. It just takes so many people to be involved in the fucking filthiness. If I'm in a boat and it sinks and a shark is 10 yards away, I'm ordering shark fin soup. My MIT friend said I'm a genius. Donald Trump. Remember when Trump's uncle told him about was it the BTK killer? Maybe I'm getting that wrong. Was it the BTK killer? Anyways, told Donald about one of these serial killers before 14 years before any, or ask him what it was like to have him as a student 14 years before anybody even knew who it was. That's fucking good shit. I asked my uncle what it was like to teach a serial killer, and this was 14 years before anybody else knew it was him. Yeah, that's the thing, Mary. Like a file can be all different sizes, but regardless, 1.3 terabytes of data is a fucking lot, especially when you're just dealing with text and maybe some photos. It would be more than we will ever, any one person or 10 people are probably going to be able to read or go through. I mean, just no one person is ever going to be able to examine all of it themselves. No way. Canada and the U.S. being allies since the Roman times, and Trump fucked that up. Fucking what, James? 12, 1,500 years of fucking friendship, and Trump comes in and screws it up. Bill says so. Bondi and Patel concluded there was no client list and case closed without access to those 1 million docs. This isn't incompetence, it's a cover up. Yeah, it just sucks. Like, we have no, there's like the American people seem to have no levers outside of the next election to to fix it. It's, and that seems a little, it's fucked up. I mean, we have to have processes for a reason to make sure everything is, to the standard of the law, but how do we just too much. I guess the founding fathers and I think most Americans did and still do not think that we would have to have worried about such a fucking rogue, bonkers, criminal, treasonous president as the one. I mean, right? I mean, I didn't think we all knew Trump was a fucking sexist jackass, bad with his money or managing his businesses before he became president, but yeah. Sam, what's up? Sam says Saturday, my nephew said, "What has Trump done?" The MAGA in unison said he keeps his promises. He said, "Name one." I blurted out, "He released the Epstein files." The MAGAs got real quiet. Jim says there's got to be a pile of it. Oh, yeah, I guess I didn't think about that with witness statements and such, like during the investigation. Sure. Yeah, and possible like audio recordings, I guess, right on. Jim says if Trump's going to attack Canada, he needs to get a move on. Spring training for the Blue Jays starts in 8 weeks. I'm looking forward to the Olympics in about 6 weeks. I'll try to be looking forward to the Olympics. We'll see if I can enjoy any of it with all the bullshit going on. Yeah, Trump saying that he ended a bunch of wars. Chuds are like, that's what I voted for. Trump saying he's attacking country after country, dropping bombs and this. So what would it be? Iran and Venezuela and Nigeria, and I'm guessing I'm missing some, right? That's what I voted for. No more world's police. I voted for no more world's police. Fucking unmarked boats or whatever. No evidence. Blowing them up in the fucking international waters. Thousands of miles or whatever away from our shores. That's what they voted for. Good evening to you, Gloria. Good to see you, sister. Cheers to you. 2028. It's Winter Olympics are coming up in February, I think, aren't they, Bill? That's what I was told last night watching the 49ers game. James wasn't happy with our defense, but neither was I, for fuck's sake, when I watched the last fucking quarter standing up, pacing the living room, asking Mrs. V, what are they doing? What the fuck are they doing? What the fuck is the defense doing? Yeah, I guess we got a badass female downhill skier, Bill. And I've already forgotten her name, but I'll be pretending like I've been fucking following her career for 10 years here in a couple weeks. Just hang on. Macaroni has entered chat properly. Mac says, I don't know how to vote in the poll because Trump doesn't even know what they bombed in Venezuela. Right. Yeah, we don't know. Right. I can see your point about my poll question. Will Trump launch more strikes on Venezuela? To Mac's point, we don't know for sure that he launched any because he's just said so. He said he blew up a dock somewhere. Knocked it out was the words. Knocked the hell out of it. Anyway, 92% of you, assuming he did just do a recent strike, say he will again. 8% say no. So Sin has been in here to vote. That's good to know. A couple chuds have been in here to vote, I guess. Nels, what's up? Look at all you beautiful people. Yeah, it was crazy, Bill. I don't know if that's how, obviously the Niners defensive issues aren't have been well known and documented this year. But I have no idea like about the Bears defense. I mean, it almost sounds like the Bears are only in it because they've done a fucking half a dozen comebacks, which that saying it like that doesn't sound like they're a super solid team either. Like if they're if they won half their games by fucking the seat of their pants, I'm not sure that says a whole lot for their strength, but clearly their offense can get some shit done. Saturday night against Seattle will be a riot. Saturday night, I'm in the sight. You don't believe me, just watch. Bananas flying everywhere. Yeah, exactly. See, that's what I'm still curious to find out, Mac, is what did Trump immediately, my very, very first thought was this a military, some sort of military installation or post? But then I thought, yeah, I guess it could also just be he targeted some sort of public facility that's going to make shit even fucking worse for the people there, right? Like now, you know, there's limited spots where goods were coming in as it is. Now it'll be even now it'll be worse. And I mean that's the kind of shit fucking Bibi does, right? Kind of shit Putin tries to do. You fucking cut kind of shit Xi has done to his own people. You fucking cut off their lifeline, or you start. I mean, yeah, that would make sense for the. I mean, Trump would probably hope. I think I talked about this last week that he would. I could see his plan A being creating a civil war, regime change, and having, the new leader being favorable to him, right? That way he doesn't have to get his hands dirty too much. So I can see that this could still be like some sort of attempt at that. Just um, create chaos, and so where the whole country or the majority of the population gets sick of it, whether they were Maduro supporters or are or aren't, and yeah, create chaos. And so that just makes Maduro's job harder to oppress folks, but it gets way yuckier for the people of Venezuela. That's why I think it's fucking ridiculous. I mean, maybe going back to our point about how, me and Jim mentioning that, congressional approval being a fucking joke when it comes to a unnecessary attacks on countries for the last fucking 70 years or more. And, maybe this is just kind of another another version of that with when we try and fucking force regime changes or create civil unrest to create a regime change. We haven't learned it doesn't work. It's worked, I guess, for a minute. Like even probably it'd be real interesting to see the stats on how many regime changes the U.S. has been involved in, and the change, the person then taking over was favorable to us, but for how long? For how long, right? Not that that would matter. Not that the length of loyalty would matter, right? If it's a fucking crock of shit thing for us to be doing, period. Yeah, Purdy's insane. The dude is insanely good. I'm glad to see, he looked pretty damn awesome. I just wonder how our defense is going to be able to hold up, James. I don't know who we're getting back before the playoffs. If we win Saturday night, I think we'll have a week off. We'll have the first week of the playoffs off. Maybe we already are. I think we'll take the first seed if we beat Seattle. Yeah, exactly. See, that's why I was just wondering, like, what are we going to do about those fellas not being able to play? Or I don't know. I'm sure you know better than me. Apparently, maybe they're both out for the rest of the season. Yeah, I heard Kittle was back. Will be back. And poor McCaffrey. I mean, I know he'll be rested up and ready to go again, but whew, man, we ride that horse a lot. We have our offense is fucking is tight no matter where we're at with any of those fellas, right? I think. I mean, it's hard to. I don't know again what the Bears defense is like. They didn't look like they had one last night, but I think that our issue is probably just going to be the defense playing some of these other teams. But fuck, if you can't stop us from scoring 42 points, then maybe our fucking defense doesn't really have to. Maybe we'll be all right. Say those championships are won with defense, but if you can't fucking stop us from scoring 42 points. Yeah, some teams are going to be benching their starters or resting their starters this week. This is from, if I can read it, we'll see what happens. I think sometimes I hit a paywall and I hate figuring that shit out. I just say screw it. All right, so this is 42 minutes ago, you guys. From the New York Times, it says U.S. kills two in strike in Pacific as Trump pressures Venezuela. The attack was the 30th announced by the U.S. military since early September. It came days after President Trump said the U.S. had struck a coastal site related to drugs in Venezuela. Again, this is 5:31 tonight, so about an hour ago. The U.S. military strikes on Monday killed two more. The U.S. military strike on Monday killed two more people accused by the Trump administration of trafficking narcotics in the Eastern Pacific. Pentagon officials said bringing the death toll in the U.S. campaign to at least 107. In a post on social media, the U.S. Southern Command said that the strike on social media? Our U.S. Southern Command is posting on social media? I guess it must be a thing or has been for a little while. Weird. conducted at the direction of Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, had targeted a boat sailing along at a known narco trafficking route. So they were in the water in the Eastern Pacific and killed 2 men. The New York Times could not independently verify the strike or the intelligence cited by the military. Maybe Bill already told me that 2 people were supposedly killed. Oh my God, I'm fucking struggling. I probably sound like a fucking complete fucking dumbass tonight. I'm just being honest. I came on and like reading along, learning the breaking news as I'm streaming. Jesus. Anyway. Yeah, apparently so, Mary. 107 total in 30 strikes since about the middle of September. Most of which, or if not all of which, have there's been no evidence provided of any crime, wrongdoing, or even implement, any sort of I mean, they're fucking circumstantial evidence is shit, right? There's a boat in the water where they've seen drug people before. Fucking, I hope no fucking cruise ships are cruising through those areas. I mean, pretty pretty low bar on the requirements, right? To to be able to start fucking bombing. I mean, you guys know I've said from the get go this is illegal. It's at least it's so fucking stupid to have to sit there. And I'm not to you guys, obviously. I don't know what the fuck we're doing in this country, but we have a rogue president. We don't, for whatever reason, even our media, I guess, is struggling to have anybody on the fucking right or conservatives or let alone the MAGA party, fucking calling this shit out and denouncing the pure criminality against international law, completely immoral at the very least. Yeah, Harbaugh played for the Bears. He might have played for some other teams too. I know he threw for the Bears, right? He was a shit quarterback, I remember, if I remember right. Trump by the sailor man. I agree, Bill. 100%. That's really what it comes down to. And Bill, you've been here. You see me struggle. It's like, it's very, and we talked about this already in this stream, how fucking difficult it is because the fucking heat you might take or whatever for calling it what it is. And it's what kills me, man. And and we've talked about the oath to not follow illegal orders. And we all know how difficult that can be, being overseas in the heat of the moment, being a fucking whatever. You got 3-4 years in this service, the Navy, and your admiral is telling you to do something. Can't be easy to make a quick decision about, is this and it's not an excuse. I'm just putting it all out there. And so that's what fucking disgusted me from the beginning, Bill, is Trump asking our neighbors' kids, our family, nieces, nephews, people down the road, people down south, people up north to fucking murder people without any sort of due process, put them to death. I don't know. It's tough because you know what, Bill? What about regardless, like these people have to fucking deal with this shit for the rest of their lives. And they're not fucking dumb. They're going to stay in the service for a little while, maybe a long while. Maybe they're out as soon as their tour ends. They have to process that shit too, and that fucking sucks. You have people, the U.S. has a volunteer army because of all that fucking well-earned pride that we've had for so many years that's like B says is disappearing fast because of Trump. That's why we have a volunteer army, because because people are happy to not just defend us, but to defend, the weak and the poor and the old, right? Fucking disgusting. It's exactly murder, Bill. I agree. You can't say it's not murder when nobody is not only not an immediate threat, but not any sort of threat. I mean, for fuck's sake, a speedboat against a fucking aircraft carrier or whatever the fuck their boats hit these guys. Yeah. James says, thanks, TV. Are you on your way out? Right. Bill says even pirates would board and at least give you a chance to join them before they make you walk the plank. Bill, and they were throwing the admiral under the bus or whatever for a minute there, right? Saying with this for on the second tap fucking thing. It's like, well, I don't really see it as throwing him under the bus. He's as responsible for his position and actions as he is responsible for. But to have to I just don't understand it, man. That dude's not Trump. I mean, is he corrupt? I mean, how is it I mean, could you be court-martialed for such a thing for refuse? I mean, it all have to go through court, but could you be court-martialed for refusing orders, or were they just fucking dishonorable discharge? Or, well, I guess the admiral is commissioned officer anyways, but fucking crazy. All right, James, we love you, brother. Happy New Year to you too, but I'm sure maybe hopefully we'll see you again before then. Mrs. V and I won't be doing anything New Year's Eve, like always, which is awesome. We just fucking had one heck of a cool, exhausting trip. As you guys can tell, that's why I'm fucking complete brain mush tonight, because I'm still fucking trying to catch up. I drove 12 hours yesterday, and it was like 2 hours of, well, it was 11 hours and 40 minutes or something yesterday. I did the whole trip back because I was fine and ready to do it. But the last 2 hours was insane downpours and pretty heavy traffic from Toledo all the way home. Like as soon as we hit Toledo, it started raining. By the time we were in Ann Arbor, it was a freaking mess. Thankfully, it was only rain, but it was just don't see rain like that very often where traffic has to start stopping. It's crazy. I handled it well, but it was a it was I realized thinking back, I don't think I pushed it. It was fucking balls out. Should not, probably shouldn't be making the trip that quick, but whatever. I didn't go below 80 unless I was absolutely unless it was like 55 miles an hour. Yeah, we'll see you though, James. I hope. So anyway, maybe Mrs. V and I will be sitting here. Mrs. V will be sitting here too, off camera and mic, but I don't know what else I'm going to do. It seems pretty sad to do I've done New Year's Eve streams, I think pretty much every year since I've been doing this shit, but yeah, maybe it's a little sad to be doing that. I don't care. I don't think I'll be in the mood to play any music either. I might. I don't know. We'll see what happens, right? Oh yeah, Bill says Admiral Bradley is only there because Admiral Halsey quit over the strike, so fuck him. Right on. Yeah, it was almost too much, Mary. Like we made it there in like 10 hours and 15 minutes, and my two kids split that drive up, but we took the toll roads because we just wanted to get there, right? But 10 hours and 15 minutes, even with the toll roads, was really good. But on the way back, we wanted to see, because we weren't able to get into DC, we were supposed to go to DC Friday, and it was like 34 degrees and raining. And it's like, there's no way. As bad as it sucks, not fucking walking around in the city. I mean, it would have been miserable. And we would have went through all that way, or it's like an hour from his house, my kid's house, to DC, the metro, you know, for a couple hours, and we would have been like, this is enough. And so next trip, but on our way back, we wanted to get into the mountains more, see some stuff. So I did, and eventually I'll share some of the videos. It was very foggy in the mountains Sunday morning when we were going through. Got to see a lot of cool towns, some places you don't necessarily want to stop for too long or alone. Mac knows what I'm talking about, some of those towns. It's fun places up there in the Appalachians, I tell you. But it was amazing. It was cool. Best part, my future daughter-in-law's parents, meeting her family, and we spent Christmas night with them, and then Saturday night before we left, we had another party at their house. So it was fucking cool. Very cool. Hey, let me I'll try to make this super quick so we don't lose anybody. I got to do a BRB real quick. I appreciate you guys though for coming and hanging out and yapping with me. I didn't know how busy chat would be, being I was gone, and it's a Monday night and we're heading into another holiday. Still going to, because my oldest, who has our beautiful grandkids, she moved to Florida. I guess it was before Thanksgiving, somewhere's around there. And they came back for the holidays, but we are in Maryland, so they're still home, and we're gonna go see them tomorrow night for a little while. Uh, so I didn't know how busy chat would be, being I was gone for a little while, but I appreciate you guys coming by. Hang tight. I'll be right back, and I wanted to see if we can see what's going on with China and Taiwan, because I really, like I mentioned a minute ago, that I feel like Xi's no dummy, right? He's clearly much smarter than fucking Trump, and he's you know, I guess does a better job of keeping all the fucking oppression that he does semi quiet or out of the national news or, away from Western media, however. But I don't know. It just, again, it seems odd that he would set up, like, just to the extent that they are for this so called military drill for the fuck of it, because, right? Nobody is confused about what China is capable of. So we'll yap about that for a bit when I get back. All right, hang tight. I'll see you in a minute. All right, I'm back. Max says TV. I just watched a video about Big Haley, moonshiner woman in Tennessee. She was 600 pounds and lived in a cabin in the woods with no road. She couldn't get out of her cabin but ran her moonshine business. From the cabin on top of the mountain, law enforcement knew she was making shine and issued a warrant. Deputy comes back to the court. The judge wanted to hear about him serving the warrant. Uh, he tells the judge she's catchable but just not fetchable. I, we've seen those fucking shows, whatever. I don't know if it was Richard Simmons cutting people out of their house. Moonshiner, Big Haley, huh? She was in the top 10 mountain women. That's crazy. Mary, I have 5 adult kids and 3 grandkids from my oldest. So far, 3 grandkids. Um, my oldest boy, though, is been with a really nice lady for a little while now, and I think she has 2. Yeah, forgive me. Yes, 2 kids. So kind of 2 other blended family grandkids, I suppose. I'm sure I'll have many more eventually. It's all good. They're coming kind of. My daughter's been busy, but she said she's done now. So try this. All right. Well, let's just see if I can read this from here. So this is what a little bit of what I'm seeing on China's military buildup or so-called drills. It says China has launched large-scale live fire military drills around Taiwan, running December 29th and the 30th under the code name Justice Mission 2025. These are described as the biggest exercises to date and include warships, fighter jets, artillery, missiles, drones, and simulated blockades and strikes around the island, which the simulated blockades are to detour us. I don't know what other allies will be, how much they'll be, you know, what their plans are for defending, Taiwan defend themselves against China in light of an attack. But uh, we've heard Trump's comments, and they're not like very reassuring, but or at all, because he's a fucking wishy-washy ding dong. But I don't know how much I I don't know. There's no way in how Trump is fucking doing anything to China. Or I mean, I don't know, man. It's I don't know if possibly, I guess, sending whatever military, like weapons aid packages they could, or we could possibly. But the drills span multiple sea and air zones encircling Taiwan, with China declaring danger zones that have disrupted civilian flights and shipping. Beijing says the exercises are a stern warning against Taiwan independence and foreign interference, framing them as necessary to uphold its claim of sovereignty and national unity, which I don't think Taiwan um, claims to be unified with China at all. In fact, I seen just a couple quick interviews with some citizens there, and yeah, that wasn't the sentiment by any means. The drills are also seen as a response to a recent large U.S. arms sales to Taiwan, one of the largest in history. See, that's what I thought, that like Trump has shown some, I guess, support for Taiwan, but he's a fucking coward. I don't see him standing up to Xi, but other than this, hands off, proxy war type of thing, whatever. Taiwan has placed its forces on high alert and conducted its own rapid response exercises. The government condemned the drills as provocative and destabilizing. Civil aviation authorities report major disruptions to international and domestic flights as exclusion zones affect airspace. The drills come amid heightened U.S.-China tensions, particularly over arms sales and regional security issues. Tokyo and Washington have reiterated support for Taiwan's defense, even as China accuses outside powers of emboldening separatist forces. Former U.S. President, what the fuck's up? ChatGPT, what a fucking mess. That's funny, though. Former U.S. President Trump downplayed the impact of drills in recent. Now some chud's gonna give me shit. See, fucking using ChatGPT to fucking summarize shit, and it's not right, man. He's not the former president. Just give us, like, I don't know, another year and a few days, all right? And that hopefully that will have the beginning of the end of that. Former U.S. president. Soon. Drills in recent comments suggesting they're a continuation of long-standing patterns of Chinese exercises. Analysts and commentators see this round of drills as more intense and closer to Taiwan than previous exercises, potentially indicating a shift toward more assertive PLA readiness and deterrence against both Taiwan and its supporters. Should I tell ChatGPT thank you? It asked me if I wanted to summarize how the regional actors are going to play a role. I think I'll just leave it hanging for a minute. Former President Trump. ChatGPT knows, yo. They know. It knows. Max says that's the channel is Appalachian Storyteller. Yeah, share the link, Mackers. Yes, Mary says, Taiwan is an ally of ours. Absolutely. But we see how Trump deals with and treats our allies. Bill says they do this every year. I didn't know that apparently this is far more intense than they've ever done it before. And I know that they have run exercises, military drills and stuff, but it seems like the buildup is these drills are as big as they've ever been, like by a lot. Bill says Taiwan equals Republic of China. The Free Chinese. Right, I get the whole scenario or the current situation with Taiwan being controlled by China, but it's clear that they're pushing, there's nobody, like you said, Taiwan equals free Chinese people. There's clearly no desire for the people of Taiwan to remain in the situation they're in. And two, a big part of it, like Taiwan is huge, is uh has a really strong economy, right? So obviously China is not wanting to lose that, whatever they get out of it. Yeah, and Japan. I knew there was another country that was um, showing complete support for Taiwan. Sam says, I've been to Taiwan on more than one occasion. Taiwan is very civilized, fast paced, and a true democracy, unlike the mainland. Right. And I don't pretend to understand how all that works and what, where in what ways Taiwan is pushing for complete independence. I mean, I'm sure they're not calling for it, maybe publicly for complete independence because it'd probably be a death sentence to any folks doing that. But all right, so maybe I was a little bit hasty on making that claim. Like, I just feel like, so maybe it'd be a little bit extra, a bit more of a risk for Chi to attack Taiwan, but I guess I don't know. That's so strange, right? Like they're ready to fucking defend themselves against. It's such a fucking odd situation. I mean, it's not odd. The premise isn't difficult to understand. Just wanting to be fucking free and unoppressed. Thanks, Mac. That'll give me something to watch later. Bill says that's the debate: one state or two state diplomacy. Many in Taiwan dream of uniting with mainland, but that's after the communist scourge. Right. Right. And that would be cool, right? I mean, it almost seems like China is kind of on the is getting closer and closer to that, right? Like moving towards more of a democracy, I guess, or a democratic system or leaders, though it's going to be painful and bloody probably. Jay, what's up, brother? Cheers to you. Agolf says some of the best guitar potential meters, the CTS brand, come from Taiwan. Yeah, who doesn't? Fucking A, brother. It's hard to deny that um, kick ass electronics come from that part of the world. Yeah, that's well put, Mary. Says Taiwan is to China what Ukraine is to Russia. Yes, and Taiwan and Ukraine both allies of the U.S. Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. No, I think that's a good. I think that's a good description. Should we check our poll again before I bug out? Like I said, I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with me. As always, a lot going on. I am planning on a busy year coming up, that's for sure. I hope to be sitting here quite a lot. And, well, I mean, I guess it'd be better if things were peaceful and there wasn't any fucking fucked up news, but that's not the case. So, as long as there is, and plus we have, I don't know what my plans are to hammer down on the midterms coming up in November of 26. But I'm sure I'll fucking have something to say about it. Encouraging people to get registered, make sure they're registered, and make sure they vote. And because it fucking matters, it clearly matters. You're welcome. Sam says, I personally like South Korea over Taiwan, which is another true democracy. Yeah, what they did with their fucking whack job president last year, was it? That was pretty cool. They did not fuck around. The reason is sentence structure for speaking and translating placement of verbs and nouns is almost the same as English. Yeah, Jay says many U.S. companies have intellectual and product secrets in Taiwan. Yeah, that's a whole nother ball of yarn too, isn't it? The copyright and patent stealing. All right, you guys, maybe I'll see you again tomorrow night. I hope to. I'm going to be going to visit the grandkids for a little while, but I'm sure I'll probably be back home at a pretty decent time. I don't know when they're traveling out again, but if I don't see you, have a happy new year. Happy New Year's Eve and a New Year Day. And I'm gonna be close by. I was getting on a roll again, then we went on vacation, which was awesome, and I think that it certainly rejuvenated me a little bit, even though I still need to catch up on my sleep. But I'll see you guys soon, all right? Thanks for coming. Be good. Peace and love. TV2 out.